Alright, what is up, y'all? So I just recorded the video, but I realized that I didn't take my goddamn mic. So I'm here to redo it again. It's November 15th, 8:53 p.m., and I'm gonna go over some Bitcoin macro scenarios. So before I begin, I wanted to look over the non-elite wave counts, and we're just gonna talk about this chart from Coinbase on Bitcoin. So I like to work from a high. I like to work down from a high time frame. So this is the 12 month. So the yearly, and I mark out my levels. So the first yearly level would be 13.9K, and then how you get it is just the monthly body open and close. So in this case, 13.9K for yearly. There's one at 7.1, and there's another one at 3.6. And I don't think we're gonna get here. I just like to have it marked out, and we work our way down. 6 month, same. It's pretty much the same at 10.8, and then 3 month. I'm guessing, yeah, the same. 1 month. Yeah, so 10.8 is a major level in my eyes, and something you can do, which I thought was pretty cool and how it lined up, is you can see the confluence of this trend-based fib. So your first point is the top right here, and you're just going to take your swing highs, swing lows, and swing highs, and then you take it to the bottom, you do it to the top, and then you can see that it almost lines up perfectly to those levels that I just showed you guys. Also, another interesting thing is when you take the volume profile from here, and let's just drag it to current price action. So there's no good support down here or over here. There's until about 11.8K. That's when I expect there to be a good bounce. So I'll be averaging in probably around 12 to 10.8K, and there might even be a wick to 9. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So now that I've gone over the traditional TA, let's talk about the macro counts that I'm tracking. So BLX, this is the chart that tracks Bitcoin's whole history, or as far back as it can go. In this case, 2010. This is my macro. Let me bring out my notes. This one makes a lot of sense to me. If I was to have a bullish macro, this is my primary. Okay, so cycle 1 to $38, cycle 2 to $1, cycle 3 to $13.66, cycle 4 to 170 or 180 or whatever, and then cycle 5 was at 20K, and that would be SuperCycle 1, and everything else is SuperCycle 2. But before I jump into this, let's dive deeper into this impulsive channel or impulsive move. The reason why I like this is because it respects a lot of the LA wave guidelines. If we take this inverted fib, we got a good target right here, and again, this is something I use a lot. So for the inverted fib, I always use log scale. Log is king. Make sure this box is checked, and then have the 1.618 and the -1236. And the reason why I use this is because algos are set to take profit or programmed for these levels. So in this case, you can see you just take it from the bottom to the top of the major correction. So in this case, like this, and then it marked the next significant pivot or top for wave 3. For wave 4, it's not as perfect, but basically is good enough. So let's talk about this channel here. So this is the base channel between 2 and 4, and you can see wave 3 and 5 respects it perfectly, and wave 5 it tested the midpoint exactly and topped off, and that's textbook in my opinion. And when you break this channel, that indicates a significant correction is underway, which is what happened. Okay, so right here. So then all of this is all, in my book, in my opinion, corrective for this count to happen. Let me take this out. So this, I don't know what we have to work with. This can be subdivided many ways, but it to me, I think it's corrective. All right, I think it's a 3-wave move, something like this. Now we're in a C wave leg, something like that. Sorry, not that low. Oops. So that's what. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, that's how I have it. So it can be labeled again differently, but it could be I mean, for me it's A B C A. This can be WXY or ABC here. So A B 1 2 3 4 5 B 1 2 3 4 5 C, and we would bottom in this case somewhere around 10K ish, and that would mark the end of the flat pattern. Some reserves or some asterisk marks that I can't ignore is that maybe it's a WXY instead, and it could be like that. If this is the case, okay, maybe it's a expanded flat right now. Actually, I don't think it's an expanded flat. It looks too extended. So maybe it's X over here, and then I don't know, a Y wave leg. I think it has to be an ABC. It can't be a WXY. I'm not sure, or I think it could be a WXY. I have to read up on the rules, but it would be, I don't know, A for the 5th, B, and then come down again. So something like that. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm not confident in what's gonna happen just yet. I am confident that once we get to around 10K, it's gonna have a god candle, like a 50% like big ass candle, but I'll dive deeper into that a little bit later. And then if you guys know my TA, you know I love time analysis, and usually almost every time the corrective wave that it's correcting, the correction that follows impulse, it usually takes the same amount of time. So in this case, I do have it marked, so 187 bars. I don't know, close enough. So if this took 187 bars, then the correction would take 187 bars, and that would take us to January 2025. I mean, who knows? It could happen. I don't think it will happen, but I just like to have it marked. So that is my primary. It's either this is a W, X, and Y, or this is A, B, C. Either case. It is interesting to note. Let me do this right now. If the C, or if this leg move was the same length as A, that means the bottom would come in. It's November 21st. That's pretty soon. I don't know if that's gonna happen. And so this would be the A, that's the C, and if A is equal to C in time, which it usually is, then the bottom should be close. In this case, I don't think it is, but I'm just noting it. All right, so more likely than not, it's probably a WXY. It could even be, I guess that could be your A. Let me just see him play with it. And that's B, and what, this is 60 bars. Okay, if it was like this, where it's A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. I don't know, something like that. Or maybe it's like the W, X, and Y. I'm just trying to see some possibilities, but that would be my bullish primary. So I would look for, if this is a 5-wave move, probably come in 10.8, right? And then maybe some capitulation wick, big candle, and then back test, some kind of Adam and Eve pattern, And if we regain, say 20K, then it's off to the races. All right, we'll dive deeper into that a little bit later. Let's talk about the bearish scenario. So in this case, the bearish count, this is my macro count on if the SuperCycle 1 was just put in. So cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, and cycle 5, and it subdivides nicely in terms of time. So you can see wave 3 and wave 5 is exactly the same in time, which is pretty crazy to me. There's a lot of time symmetry. Some things to note is that the parallel, not the parallel, the look, I don't know how to pronounce it. The curve, the log curve, is breaking down, and that's, again, it's not bullish, that's bearish. And the reason why this count also is appealing is there's multiple breaks in the RSI trend line, and this is the assumed wave 3, and that's wave 5. There's clear fat as fuck bearish divergence. That's a big ass hint of a third and a fifth. And people that discount RSI, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because if you can see, RSI precedes price action. So once this divergence was here, and then we broke support, and a correction followed. So see, it broke right here, and then a correction followed to what, negative 85%. And then the new bull cycle didn't start until this was broken. Again, that could be subjective, probably like I would say here. So that would be the move to get in. And then you would just ride it up, and then just repeat the same thing. Once this RSI support broke, a major correction followed. Again, that's why RSI is so, well, I think it's cool. To each their own. To each their own. And then this is your, so for the cycle wave 3, it's a blow off top, and cycle wave 5, it's like a lethargic move. It's like a slow, where this sub wave 5 is so small, where people expect the same thing as here, but instead you get like a small little candle volume. And then if this is the case, then crypto is fucked for not crypto, but Bitcoin is fucked for a very long time, because if that's SuperCycle 1, then SuperCycle 2 would be a major correction, right? So let's say that's 5, get your 3 wave up, and then that would be your zigzag, and it'll probably take it to levels no one can even imagine. That's pretty thick. Let me do it like that. Or if it wants to go be a sideways, then it could be ABCA, ABCB, and something like this, and then be sideways for a long period of time and then kick off. But the thing is that if this whole bull run was 293 bars, then the wave 2 would take us until like January 2033. Again, I don't know. I don't think that's likely. I just having that out there for your awareness. And then you guys can see in my notes the evidence criteria. Never before in a high time frame has Bitcoin ever put in an M formation or a double top. I like to call it the Batman, like this. Never seen that before on Bitcoin in its history in a high time frame. The RSI break and bear divergence is hinting at third and fifth. If the subwave correction is greater than 29 bars, so that's my old notes. So basically how people were saying that this was we're just in a wave 4, but how the fuck is your wave 4 gonna take longer than your cycle corrections? That's a big invalidation and a no-no, and you guys, whoever's counting like that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. That's bad. That's bad other waves. It's clearly invalidated. And anyone else that has a giant fucking 1, 2 coming out of here, that doesn't make sense to me either. Like, I just don't get it. You don't have a 1, 2 then another extension of 1, 2 that's like 400% bigger or whatever than your parent wave 1, and it takes longer, that's invalid. It's just invalid. So, and then also in this case, maybe if it starts here, so here it's actually okay. Maybe this could be, this to me is barely hanging on by a thread if it's like this. 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, it's already 28 bar. It's already, it would have to bottom right now. This would have to be the bottom somehow, but I just don't. This is not a 3-wave move. It's already at a 5-wave. It's entering 5-wave territory. So I don't think that's the case, and the wave 4 is so deep. I don't think that's the case. So that's what point 3 was. If the sub wave is whatever longer than 29 bars, then it's likely in a super cycle 2, because the child wave is would be bigger in time than the parent wave. Point 4, the lowest RSI ever, which is not bullish. So again, lowest RSI ever, not bullish. If valid, then all of crypto and stocks are cooked, and that's when I posted this in, I don't know, March of 2022. So where's that? Yeah, sometime around here, and then it died. Okay, so that'd be if this is the case, then we're gonna see some levels we don't think that are possible. Sailor is gonna get liquidated. So this would be my bearish alternative. Or if I had a bearish count, this would be the primary. And so let's explore. I think I wanted to talk about something else. I forgot. Let's explore. So these have all the other counts that I mentioned before. Also, again, I just thought it was pretty cool. This long ass channel was respected very nicely, and now we broke down from this channel. So take that as whatever, take that however you want, but it looks like a breakdown, back test, and continuing down. And so again, that's the nut top where it takes us into 2033 or whatever. I don't think it's the case. This is the flat pattern. This is actually a different kind of flat pattern. A, B, and then we're in some kind of diagonal for C, and it takes us to 2025. I don't think this is as likely either, but it's just cool to keep in mind. And then the WXY flat. Oh, actually, I didn't talk about this. This one's a little bit different just because the X wave is usually, I would expect the X wave to take a little bit longer. Actually, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. And then maybe this Y wave, so this is actually incorrect because there's no 5-wave move yet. Is there? 4 or 5. Then it would be, let me move it over to make it fit. So this would be the A. This would fake out a lot of people. I don't think it's as likely. Maybe instead it's a WXY of the Y. I don't know if that's even allowed. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So those are all the counts that I'm tracking. Some signs of a trend change that I'm looking for that's not Elliott wave related. It would be, I know I had it. Where the fuck is my chart? Excuse me to get water. Okay, yeah, so it would be this, and this is a pretty good sign. So basically, if you get your MACD, put the BLX on a 2-week time frame, And let's dive back to the beginning of its lifetime. So we'll just take it from here. So when this MACD crossed down and you lose your 8 EMA, then a major correction followed. This white line is the 8 EMA, okay? It's the 8. And usually when the bull cycle starts is when this MACD right here, when it crosses over to the upside, and you also regain this 8 EMA. So in this case, regained it, lost it. Once you regain it right here, then you get this major move up for 77,000%. And you can see the EMA was used to support many times. You got to wick through sometimes, and as long as you didn't have a major close below it, it worked. And then we're just gonna follow along the path. So when the MACD crossed down over here on the 2018 or February 2018, and then you lost 8 EMA, a major correction followed, right? And then the same thing. So this is the COVID one where it crossed up. You get a nice move, regain that 8 EMA, and then cross down here. This is all choppy correction move. But the one I was trying to make a point out of is that this one, May 2020, it crossed up and it regained this 8 EMA. And you had this epic run of like a 722%. Now it's not gonna catch the absolute bottom, but you're gonna catch most of the move, right? So this is one thing that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm tracking it. So we're trying to wait and see. So for me, and just looking at this, I would wait for a bullish crossover on the 2-week, as well as a regain of the 2-week 8 EMA, right? And then some candle formation that I would look for. Maybe it's either an ending diagonal, or in this case, a falling wedge. It's the same thing. You look for a falling wedge, and then if you don't get that, maybe you get some kind of like, you get a big God candle, and then something like this, and then up, and then you can also count this as like an Adam and Eve pattern or double bottom. You can also do a swing failure pattern, something like that. Any kind of double bottom pattern with a capitulation wick with like a selling climax. Those are the key signs to look for, and then wait for this. If you're a confirmation trader, just wait for the things I mentioned, like which is the 2-week MACD crossover and the regain of the 2-week 8 EMA. All right, so those are the signs that I'm looking for if I was bullish and if I wanted to play that trend. Something I did want to talk about before. Let me see. So one thing I was tracking and I thought was gonna happen. Let me use a different chart. So what I thought was gonna happen, and I had it as like this, and this is before the FTX news or the FUD or the Black Swan event or whatever you want to call it. I thought Bitcoin was putting in this flat pattern, and I thought we were gonna go for 25 or 24K, right? So before this red candle, I thought we were going like this. And the reason for that is because stocks were also looking good and they were going up. So after that CPI print where it was bullish, I was thinking, oh, okay, hey, so it looks like stocks and cryptos are going to move together up. But the market structure changed, right, with the FTX news, and it made it irregular, I would say. So I mean, it could still be an X wave, but in this case it's probably better to be a wave 4 instead. If it is an X wave, then I would expect something like this. Although I give it less weight, it's still a possibility where it's kind of some kind of flat. I mean, we're trying to kill time, and it actually does kind of make sense because we didn't really break too low. It kind of stopped at a weird point. So maybe it takes liquidity at the highs and then we nuke. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I think I covered everything. If you guys want to support me, just follow my Twitter, hit that like, subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I think there's one more thing I was trying to cover. Just TLDR, I am looking to accumulate and add, and also none of this is financial advice. Please trade your own risk. This is educational purposes only. So what I am looking for, or what I'm gonna do, I don't care what you guys do, is I'm looking for a test of these levels between 13.8 and 10.8k, and I would expect something like a little swing failure pattern come up, and then something like that. That's what I'm expecting, because I know it's gonna be at least a 50% move from here. We're gonna get a big bounce. It's probably gonna be 100% actually. So that's how I'm gonna play it. All right. I think that's everything. Also, go Commanders for ending the Eagles winless or undefeated season. So that is it. Safe trading, guys, and have a good one. Peace.